An EEC regulation of 1999 required all bridges to have a strength rating of 40 tonnes. Otford's bridge was assessed at 7.5 tonnes, so it had to be replaced or strengthened. Early warning notices were placed at the approaches over a wide area. But many bemused motorists turned up at the barriers, refusing to believe the road closed signs. An unaccustomed calm descended on the high street, which gave some residents an opportunity for remedial work on their houses. Before demolition work could commence, the 16 service pipes had to be located, and some removed for easier access. South East Water redirected the supply from other areas, so the two mains were cut and plugged. At the same time, demolition of the parapets began. Transco gas main split into 4 smaller pipes as it crossed the bridge. These were carefully located by hand. Then the 12-inch gas main was uncovered. One of the reasons for carrying out this project in the summertime was that the consumption of gas is low, so they were able to seal and cut the mains using very high-tech equipment. Continuously, the parapets were being demolished. As both the bridge and buildings adjoining have Grade 2 listings, the stones had to be reused. It was very slow and hard work, and they were safely stored under lock and key. Pedestrian access was maintained at all times, and a footbridge was erected across the river. The planings or scrapings from old road services were used to build up the slope, and it was soon put into good use. The contractors continued to remove the old deck. For financial reasons, it was decided to leave some services in situ. For example, if BT cables had been diverted, it would have cost the KCC, the owners of the bridge, another £125,000, plus an extra 3 weeks on the contract. Some of the service pipes, left intact, had to be supported from above, while work continued beneath them to remove the old metal girders. Demolition was completed, but before the new deck could be erected, the riverbed had to be cleared of rubble. There were still a few old pipes to be gently raised and wedged.
Come over there in case that flies apart.
A pedestrian had spotted something on the riverbed, one of the lighter moments.
You got it. That's it, you got it. Oh, it's half a one.
How long's that been there?
Well ahead of schedule, the site was now ready to receive the new deck slab units. Designed by the Babty Group, consultants to the KCC, and tailor-made of reinforced concrete by Ringways at their Cranbrook depot. Throughout the day, the slabs were carefully threaded beneath the pipes.
Come up.
Go on, keep going. Go. No scream round. Go on.
Measurements were critical. The steel loops on their sides were used to knit the slabs together.
Yeah, if you want to take the straps out first. Has it got a...
Have a look in the bus stop.
The original parapets have both been realigned to improve the footway, and on the southern side the abutments were widened.
Yeah.
There you go.
Once the slabs had been concreted together, and while further clearance of the site took place, the surface was prepared. The strips of hessian helped with the curing of the concrete. The whole surface must be completely smooth and as one. Now the skilled work of rebuilding the parapet could commence.
Twice this week.
The waterproofing firm arrived to work on the deck. They meticulously dried and cleaned the surface before spraying it with a primer. Then the entire deck was waterproofed. Completion of the deck meant that all the services could be reconnected. Blue pipes are for water, yellow are for gas. Because some of the stones had crumbled, and also due to the realignment, some pieces couldn't be replaced in exactly the same place. It needed a lot of patience and was very time-consuming. The pecker started to expose the gas main. They had to dig a bit further back to get a decent point for the reconnection. Whereas previously there were 4 small gas mains on the bridge, other pipe runs and supplies from different areas since the originals were laid meant that only 2 were required. When the surfaces cross the deck, they use steel pipes for strength, as they'll be quite near to the road surface. Reconnecting the gas took 2 whole days. It was a very complicated procedure. The northern parapet nears completion. At last, work can begin to fill in and repair the road surface. After a spray of tack coat, the tarmac lorry arrives and a base course is applied. The difficult parts were levelled by hand, and then the small tarmac machine was used. As the whole high street is being resurfaced, 30mm of this base course will be planed off later, but this was thought to be the most suitable way to tackle the job. Like a military operation, work began early on Saturday morning. The planers stripped 30mm of surface from the road, and a convoy of lorries took away the planings. Residents had been warned that the entire high street would be closed for 2 days. It was essential that work was completed by Sunday evening, to allow businesses to run as near to normal the following day. This was the hottest weekend since records began. Teams of workmen cut around the service covers by hand. By Saturday evening, the road had been stripped and prepared for tarmacking. Work had begun at 7 a.m. Temperatures reached 99 degrees and the heat was intolerable. There was concern that the tarmac wouldn't set enough for traffic, but the line painting was able to start mid-afternoon.
What it is on that side is you came in and drove into the zebra and don't the appearance of it being narrow.
An anti-slip surface was laid either side of the crossing. First, the zigzag lines were covered with masking tape. The very hot conditions made removal of this rather tedious. It was hoped that the bridge could stay closed for a further week to enable the parapets and footpaths to be completed. But some villagers had other ideas, so a traffic control was put in place. While the road had been closed, a pedestrian refuge at Rye Lane and maintenance work on the Iron Bridge had also been completed. 2.5 weeks ahead of schedule, the teams had completed a superb piece of work. For 8 weeks, Otford had endured the ultimate traffic calming scheme. East and West hadn't been separated since the floods of 1968, when the old Iron Bridge was swept away. Strangely, with the absence of traffic, a new community atmosphere and camaraderie had prevailed. There were some who appreciated the calm. Others were frustrated by the inconvenience, and local trade suffered. But most were resigned and accepted the situation, finding time to chat to long-time no-see old acquaintances and comment on the work in progress. The Otford Bridge should serve many future generations well into the next century.